done
Credit
yet.
at
So
News
what's
Nation.
next for the vice president, potentially? She's reportedly told advisors she's not getting out of the political arena anytime soon, wants to keep her options open. And early polling from Morning Consult shows 62% of Democrats would like to see her run again for president in 2028. But she certainly could seek another office, this one in her home state. How about the California governor's mansion? That job will be open in 2026. When Gavin Newsom's term is up, he's not eligible to run for re-election. And there was another poll that found nearly half of California voters would likely support her if she threw her hat into that ring. Harris is expected to be discussing these options with family and friends.
Kamala Harris isn't stepping out of the political spotlight anytime soon. The vice president, known for breaking barriers, is reportedly keeping her options open and staying firmly in the game. A recent Morning Consult poll reveals that 62% of Democrats want her to run for president again in 2028, a solid base of support, even as questions linger over the challenges her past campaigns have faced.
Here over the holidays, one place we will see her in another role is on January 6th. That's when
Credit
she will
at News
certify the
Nation.
election results as the president of the United States Senate. Constitutional role all vice presidents play. Then, what happens after that? Well, Harris held a call with top donors this week that's getting some attention now, facing questions about how her presidential campaign managed to plow through $1 billion and still came up short. We talked about that right after the call had wrapped with DNC senior advisor Lindy Lee, big fundraiser for the Democrats, who said she was shocked at the lack of responsibility from the campaign.
I was speaking.
But Harris might not wait until 2028 to make her next move. There's growing speculation about a possible run for California governor in 2026. Gavin Newsom's term ends that year, leaving the governor's mansion wide open. According to early polling, nearly half of California voters would back Harris if she decided to enter the race. A significant boost for someone who's already well-known and deeply connected to the state.
And texting with fellow attendees of the call, and we were amazed by how self-congratulatory the tone
Credit
was.
at News Nation.
I don't recall, the call was about 20-30 minutes. I don't recall anyone taking responsibility
Really?
for the fact that we spent about $2 billion across Super PAC and the campaign and came up so significantly short. We lost 7 swing states.
Self-congratulatory in what types of things were being...
While these options are intriguing, the vice president's recent donor call has raised a few eyebrows. Harris gathered top Democratic fundraisers to discuss the future, but instead of strategy, the conversation reportedly took an unexpectedly celebratory tone. This, despite the glaring realities of her presidential campaign's performance in 2020, $2 billion spent across campaign efforts and super PACs, yet key swing states were lost.
Sad.
They
Credit at
praised
News
Harris
Nation.
as a visionary leader. I believe at one moment during the call, she was talking about her Thanksgiving recipe. And I don't say this with any malice or anything. I'm just merely conveying what happened. I think I was stunned to hear that, given just the extent and brutality of the loss and the fact that DNC staffers, at least two thirds have been fired summarily. And a lot of them are at a loss as to what to do. I'm just frankly stunned that there was no sort of post-mortem or an analysis of how we can do better, what sort of lessons were learned. It was really just...
Critics within her own party have expressed frustration, questioning the lack of a thorough post-mortem on what went wrong. One attendee noted that the call felt disconnected, with discussions of Thanksgiving recipes overshadowing the urgency for accountability. Many donors remain concerned about the campaign's direction and the involvement of certain high-profile advisors brought in from prior administrations, including the Obama era.
Just patting each other on the back, congratulating each other on I'm not sure what, and saying we'll see you for Christmas.
Wow. So, but anything about what she wants to do next? Is that the point of having calls like this, that she wants donors to stay on her side? You know, we talked earlier about whether she'd run again in 28 or whether she would maybe run for governor of California.
Credit at News Nation.
What's the thinking in the donor community about either one of those possibilities?
To put it bluntly, they are not pleased at the prospect. I think this is definitely her attempt to stay close to her donors, but it's also the DNC's way of staying close with the donors. And it's just something that it's just their attempt at donor management.
Harris's future plans are sure to be a hot topic during the holidays as she consults with family and close confidants. Will she aim for the governor's seat, laying down roots in California's political landscape? Or will she prepare for another presidential campaign, looking to solidify her place on the national stage? Either way, Harris appears determined to forge ahead, with her eyes set firmly on the next chapter of her political journey.
I hope you give me credit for being very honest about this, because this is very raw and very real for me. And yeah, a lot of donors are not happy. A number of them are blaming people in Obama world. That's who they helicoptered in after Biden stepped down. A lot of consultants in Obama world came over and took over the campaign apparatus. The same people who were whispering and leaking to the press that Harris should be replaced at the top of the ticket when Biden was running. So you can imagine just the hypocrisy underlying a lot of it.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
For now, she's staying busy in her current role, set to preside over the certification of election results in January, a constitutional duty every vice president fulfills. Beyond that, the political world is waiting to see what Harris's next move will be. One thing is certain: Kamala Harris is not fading into the background. The question is, where will she make her next impact? Stay tuned.